Hi folks, I'm Sean McCormick and welcome to the Lightroom blog channel. It's Tuesday, so it is Lightroom Tuesday, and in today's video we're going to look at vignetting in Lightroom. Hi folks, good to see you here again. So today we're going to talk about vignetting in Lightroom because it's Tuesday. So we cover Lightroom stuff on Tuesday and we cover photo stuff on Friday. So be sure to subscribe if you want to catch up this stuff when it comes out every single Tuesday and Friday. So vignetting is located in the effects panel and is a great way of darkening or lightening your edges to try and bring attention to the image itself so that you draw people into the center of the image. So let's take a look at it here. So we're in the effects panel here, and if you're wondering how I got this to be so wide, I have actually stretched it here literally by dragging that. A little trick is if you hold down the Alt or Option key is you can actually drag it the whole way across, but yeah, we don't really need to do that. Okay, so around there will be fine for us. As you can see, it's pretty much grayed out here at the moment, so none of the sliders are available except the mount. So what a mount does is it allows you to make it completely black around the edges like we see here, or also completely white. So if I press the J key for the highlight clipping, we can see the edges here are gone completely white. And if we bring down the mount and press J, you can see that in this case, because there are darker areas, we're seeing a little bit of clipping, but in a lot of cases you won't really see that. So to see what's actually going on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the feather and I'm going to take the feather and I turn it the whole way down. So by doing that, this allows you to see the shape that's happening and gives us a better idea what the tools themselves are doing. Okay, so now we can have a look at what the midpoint is doing. So you can see the midpoint is moving the vignette in towards the center as we decrease it and away from the center as we increase it. Roundness changes the shape, so it changes it from being just kind of very round right at the edges here, like more rectangular with rounded edges, or to go to be more of a circle in the center. And if we pull that midpoint in, it literally will be an actual circle. Feather then obviously controls the transition between the lightest part of the vignette and the darkest part of the vignette. And highlights will bring back highlight edges if there are highlights in the edge. Now there are highlights on the edge of the jacket here. If we look down here, we might be able to see some of it. So let me just go here and get a vignette that will suit that being blocked a little bit more. So let's go for a rounder one and see if that's better for that. Okay, midpoint can be brought back out a little bit. So if we change highlights, we can see that the shine on the jacket is coming and going. So increasing highlights has allowed us to bring back some of the actual highlights at the edges of the image. So this is the main one that we use, and this one is called highlight priority. There's also color priority, which will attempt to fix color at the edges of the images. And then for the sake of historical accuracy, the original vignette inside Lightroom that was a post-crop vignette was this paint overlay. So that's what this one here looks like. And it's horrible, and don't ever use it. It just doesn't give you a full range of blackness or whiteness. It just does not look as good. Generally speaking, I would be using highlight priority and then occasionally bringing back some highlight stuff. So what kind of effects can we do with this? It's well talking about what the controls do, but what can we do with it? Well, let's say if we wanted some white edges, well, we could start off by pulling this here. And let's say you wanted to create a white border. So what can we do to create a white border? Well, we bring our feather down the whole way. And then we can change our midpoint to bring it out towards the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring my roundness down so it's right at the corners. And again, by moving the midpoint, you can just bring it to where you've got just enough of the border showing that you want. Okay, so that is one kind of effect which gives it a look of kind of like a 70s photograph, for example, with a border on it. You can obviously just make that black by going in the opposite direction. Or if you want kind of a faded version of it, you just bring it about halfway. That'll give you kind of a faded edge, which kind of looks cool. So for actual kind of more vignette-y vignettes as such, I would go generally have the amount down the whole way and then bring up the feather. And then in this case here, you generally want it to be a little bit rounder. So the idea is that you're focusing in, that your eyes are drawn in towards the brighter part of the image, which is at the center here. So that is what you would do with the vignette. And if you wanted to bring the highlights back, you would do it here. If you wanted the transition to be much wider, again, you would increase the feather so that it's got a bigger transition. Now the thing to watch for, which we can, if you bring the feather down rather, you can actually see where it is here, so you know that you have to be careful that you're not going to have this area here knocked out as well. So feather. So as we can see here, this concentrates it all completely in the center of the image on the person. By bringing up the highlights, it can help with some of the detail in the hair and things like that as well. So folks, that has been a look at the vignette tool inside of Lightroom, specifically the post-crop vignette. The reason why it's post-crop, which I should just mention here, is if I press R to go to crop, and I then crop this image, let's say I press X to swap it around. Okay, the crop, it hasn't affected the actual vignette. The vignette will still work on the whole image. Whereas before, with the lens corrections, the vignette that you would create, it would only correct for the actual lens itself with the full of the frame. So they brought out this post-crop vignette. So this will always work no matter what the crop is. So folks, that's been a look at the vignette tool inside of Lightroom. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did, please do give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for more of these videos. Every Tuesday, Lightroom videos. And of course, hit the notification bell if you'd like to get notified in advance. Well, not in advance, but you know, when it comes out. So folks, thanks for taking the time to watch this, and I will see you in the next video.